that? Okay, good morning, everybody. Roll call.
Here.
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 Here, action on the minutes of the previous meeting.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Are there any special claims? No. Action on the bill is moved by the county auditor. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. This morning we have a proclamation, Disability Independence Day. I'm going to have Steve Van Oort read it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas Disability Independence Day is celebrated as the anniversary of the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, which enumerated and protected the civil liberties of Americans with physical and mental disabilities, and whereas soon after the ADA was first signed, a host of civil lawsuits were filed that brought to light the many oversights of the original draft, such as a lack of firm definitions for impairment and true consequences for discrimination when proven. These legal battles later resulted in the signing of the ADA Amendments Act in 2008, where these oversights were addressed and clarified. Whereas the anniversary has been largely distant from the American conscience, as it appears that its sole recognition comes in the form of infrequent presidential statements, many national disability advocacy groups, such as the American Association of People with Disabilities and the National Council on Independent Living, occupy the silence by organizing events and fundraisers to create widespread awareness of the day. And whereas Polk County is committed to the residents to honor their unique backgrounds and perspectives, further, the county is dedicated to expanding opportunities, breaking barriers, and achieving greater social, economic, and personal independence for Polk County citizens with disabilities. Progression is a cyclical concept. Steady, reassuring, and acknowledging opportunities for improvement is the foundation of evolving equity and inclusion. Our county is only stronger when the principle of the ADA is understood and practiced, and thereby the county recommits our efforts to ensure ADA compliance. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Polk County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim July 26th of 2022 to be Disability Independence Day in Polk County, Iowa, and encourages all residents to realize and celebrate our great diversity by educating themselves and taking time to recognize the civil progress for this historic excluded population. Signed this 26th day of July 2022 in Polk County.
Thank you, Steve. We also have Sherry Nielsen here with Easter Seals who'd like to say a few things.
Good afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity to address you and to accept this Independence Proclamation today on behalf of individuals with disabilities and as a family member of an individual with disabilities. I am honored to be a part of Polk County. I thank you for acknowledging the Americans with Disabilities Act, the work that we have to do and the work that we have done. But most importantly, I thank you and appreciate how Polk County has led the way in the state of Iowa for producing services, supporting providers, and supporting families and persons with disabilities reach independence. And not only the great services that you all have sponsored, funded, and created innovation in Iowa, but also leading the way across the nation. Every day I'm proud to be a provider in Polk County, so thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, let's come down and take a picture with our proclamation with Sherry. Okay. Where the proclamation is at, right? Okay, our public hearing, we have our first one, disposal of county interest in real estate, approving a quick claim deed for parcel 1548 23rd Street, Habitat for Humanity. Is there proof of publication on file?
Yes.
Is there anyone that would like to speak regarding this? Anyone that would like to speak regarding this? Seeing none, I'll close the hearing and ask for a motion.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Van Horn,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley,
Yes. Second public hearing is disposal of county interest in real estate for a quick claim deed for parcel located between 13510 and 13490 Northeast 110th Avenue. Nope, 110th Court, Washington Township. Is there proof of publication on file?
yes.
Is there anyone like to speak? Is there anyone like to speak? Hearing none, I'll close the hearing and ask for a motion.
I move resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
Van Horn,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley,
Yes. At this time, would anybody would like to address the board on anything? Anyone like, this is time for public comments. Anybody like to address the board? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to resolutions.
Number 9, resolution approving U.S. Department of Transportation agreement for use of build grant funds for the Northeast Broadway Avenue Improvements Project.
Move resolution. Second.
Roll call.
Van Horn,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley.
Yes.
Number 10, resolution approving memorandum of understanding with City of Des Moines for the Edward Byrd Memorial Justice Assistance Grant.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Van Horn,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley.
Yes.
Number 11, resolution modifying position within the Human Resources Department.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley.
Yes.
Number 12, resolution approving consent to the assignment of the Invest DSM 180 agreement as collateral for a land assembly loan from Des Moines Redevelopment Company.
I'll move it.
Second.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I could make a couple comments, and anybody else serves on Invest CSM, I'd be happy to also. But, you know, first of all, I want to thank Amber Lynch and all the staff over at Invest DSM for helping put this together, and the City of Des Moines. You know, we had hoped and envisioned when we started the nonprofit Invest DSM that it wasn't only going to be government or taxpayer dollars at the table, if you will. So being able to have other investments from, especially from the downtown community, is really a great start for long-term positive things that we're continuing to do with Invest DSM. So yeah, it'll hopefully spur other interests in continued investments from the private sector and not just public sector investments. So anyway, I'm really excited about it, and thanks for all your work on it.
Took us a while to get there, but we got it done.
It did, yeah.
Roll call.
Van Horn,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley.
Yes.
Number 13, resolution obligating expenditures for American Rescue Plan Act funds.
Move the resolution. Second.
Before we vote on this, I've got to make a few comments. This is a pretty big deal that we're doing today, and as you can see, we've got a large allocation of ARPA funding, which has been about a year in the making with a lot of hard work that's gone into it. We received about $95 million from the federal government. We spent from a lot of money from COVID expenses and lost revenue, which left us approximately about $75 million to invest back in our community. And as most of you know, last summer we agreed, the board did, that we would make these investments in 4 categories: affordable housing, water quality, mental health, and economic stability. And of course, it would be easy to just write a lot of grants to a lot of nonprofits, but we decided that we wanted to make sure that we would make some long strategic commitments, and I think that's what a lot of these work groups came up with. And I'm excited that we'll be able to announce these today with our resolution. And I think these projects will make some long-standing impacts in our community. A lot of collaboration has gone into these, a lot of innovation, and I think this demonstrates effective interventions that are based on science, that have really worked in some areas, and I'm excited that we'll be able to do this. Now, keep in mind that some of these are earmarked because we don't have all this fleshed out yet, and there's still a lot of work to do, but we thought it was important to at least mention these in the resolution. Any other comments from anybody?
No, I think it's been a thoughtful process, Madam Chair, and as you say, some counties have just kind of set up a glorified grant program, which we didn't want to do. So I think this has been thoughtful and deliberate, and you may not agree with all of them or agree with the amounts, but I think overall it's been a good process and seems to be working well. I wonder if anyone from the public would like to comment at this point on the ARPA funds. If not, that's fine too, but it's a lot of money going out the door here and should do some good, I hope.
How much is unobligated at this point?
Unobligated after all this?
Yeah.
I think about 7 to 8 million, maybe.
Yep, 7 to 8 million, so including what was used to cover lost revenue and COVID expenses, and including all of this and what has been spent on housing, the total of all that's about 86 million.
Okay.
And then we anticipate that through the next couple months as we plan, some of these that are approved for earmarks may or may not actually come to fruition, so that money would then go back into the unexpended category. So we would expect that we'll have a conversation about any remaining funds probably first of the year, touch base on what hasn't been spent and make some decisions then.
The other thing I'd like to mention, Madam Chair, is, I've said this to our food insecurity people. You notice that food insecurity isn't one of these buckets that we looked at. But I say to my friends at the Food Bank and DMARC and all the others out there that this does not mean the county's obligation and commitment to food insecurity has gone away. It's still a very important piece to us, just not part of this. So we'll continue to be there for food insecurity and those kinds of things, but it's just not part of this, but it doesn't signal a lack of commitment on our part.
We can't be everything to everybody,
No.
as much as we try. Okay, well, this, as we said, there's still a lot of things to work out. You know, the federal government has a lot of things that we have to cross our T's, dot our I's when we do this work. So this is the beginning of how we have to go about processing this. So you'll hear from us, some of these applicants, particularly the ones in the first bucket of releasing the checks and then the earmarks. There's still a lot more work to be done, like the mental health workforce, the nursing workforce. We're still trying to figure all that out. I know Child Serve is looking for a building still, so we still have work to do.
And the follow-up and the tracking is gonna be extremely difficult, extremely
Yes.
tedious to make sure we do all the appropriate reporting that we need to do, the federal government. So, Sarah, we'll cut out for you.
Just Sarah and I have discussed this, probably just give you a heads up. I mean, yes, the complicated part of this reporting is yet to roll out and tracking the dollars. So there may be a point in the next 6 to 8 months, we may come back to you and say, we may need some assistance
Okay.
on doing this. We're not there yet, but when you try and track and monitor this much and follow those federal reporting requirements, we want to get them right so we don't have to get any of the money back. So it may be worth a small expenditure, but we're not sure yet.
And for instance, on the major owner occupied repair, you know, there's still some issues that we want to work out there on what areas are we going to target. We're thinking about targeting zip coded areas because we know like Invest ESM and others are doing certain targeted areas. So maybe we want to look at another area for that really needs some help. So all those things still need to be worked out, but we wanted to certainly earmark that money so we knew it was there, sitting there until we get all the details worked out. Okay, this is exciting. Roll call.
Vanor,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley.
Yes.
Number 14, resolution approving community betterment grant award.
Resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
Vanor,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley.
Yes. Communications.
Number 15, manure management plan update for United State Fair.
Receive and file.
Number 16, city grants notice of hearing regarding proposed voluntary annexation. 17, communication from Polk City concerning annexing certain properties in the city. Number 18, West Des Moines notice of consultation meeting concerning proposed amendment to the Valley Urban Renewal Plan.
Refer to Public Works and the county attorney. Are there any budget actions?
None.
We do have a memorandum of appointments.
Move the appointments.
Second.
Roll call.
Vanor,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell, Conley.
Yes. Don't believe we have a staff meeting for Wednesday, right? Okay.
Move adjourned, Madam Chair.
Second.
Roll call.
Vanor,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Brownell,
Yes.
Conley.
Yes.